Hello, I am sitting down here in the living room with my dog, Teddy, and I just finished reading this book, The Friday Afternoon Club by Griffin Dunne. Griffin Dunne is an actor, producer, and director, and he came out with this book in 2024. I was going to say last year. My, how time flies when you're having fun. But he came out with this book in 2024, and for whatever reason, I picked it up. I like a memoir. I like an autobiography. I like a biography. I picked it up. At this stage in the game, 2026, even though we're just beginning, I probably was never going to pick that book up. But I had an Audible credit, and I said to myself, let me just do a thing and get this book read. Because let's just face it, when you're doing an audio book, you could just like pump those out left and right, because you can get a lot of things done while still getting your reading in. And it doesn't matter to me how you do it, as long as you get it done. And so, yeah, I did use a credit on a book I already had. So that means I did not even open this book. Let's see if it makes a noise. It do. That's a shame, in my opinion. But, you know, that's the way the chips fell, and I went with it. I guess the most important thing is that I got a book read. Okay. So, myself, not being a television watcher or a movie goer or things like that, I'm sorry to say I'm not too familiar with who Griffin Dunne is, but you know, okay, after reading the book, I know about him a little bit better. So the reason why I picked this book up, because there was a lot of references of famous people: Sean Connery, Janis Joplin, Truman Capote, Carrie Fisher, a lot of people. So his parents, Dominic Dunne, and his mom, her nickname was Lenny. You know, the book starts out telling a little bit about their childhood, and then you know, how the family was formed, and the famous people in the family. Joan Didion married Griffin's father, Nick. His name was Dominic, but they called him Nick. So Dominic's brother, John, married Joan Didion, and they went on to adopt Quintana Q. And you're going to learn a lot in this book if you choose to read it. So the part I liked the most about this book is any reference about Carrie Fisher. His brother, I believe his brother's name was Alex, was in love with Carrie Fisher, and he already, you know, laid the law down. I'm bringing a girl over, everybody on best behavior. I don't want to mess it up with her. But it turns out that Carrie hit it off with Griffin, not in like a attraction kind of way, but rather in a best friend kind of way. And I have read the book, I believe it's called My Mother Was Crazy. No, My Mother Was Nuts by Penny Marshall. Yeah. I have read that one a couple years ago, and if you want something hilarious, that is the book for you. But that's where I learned that Carrie Fisher and Penny Marshall were best friends. But turns out that Carrie Fisher was also at some point best friends with Griffin. So he tells us all about their shenanigans and how Carrie would like set him up with these escapades, or whether he got himself into his own kind of mischief. You know, Carrie wanted a play-by-play of it. There's a lot of tea being spilt in this book, but it's okay because it's coming straight from the horse's mouth, straight from the source. So it's not gossip. It's not gossip, guys, you know. And that's the best kind, when somebody's sharing their truth with you. So, you know, what did I think? I thought this was a great book. I'm off to a good running start for 2026. I apologize for that light behind me. I am trying not to move. I didn't want to disturb my dog. He's awfully tired, and I didn't want to, make any sudden movements and disturb him. So I just opted to pick my phone up from the coffee table and just like film right here, since I literally just finished the book. Yeah. So let's give it a rating. My favorite thing to do. Let's rate this bad boy 5 stars. Why are we rating it 5 stars? Because there is a lot of Hollywood, it's not tabloid, Hollywood shenanigans, Hollywood goings on. Truman Capote. Woohoo. He was pretty big back in his day, and he's attended numerous parties. I was shocked to find out about Joan Didion. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I didn't think that was very cool, what she did there. His sister Dominique, God rest her soul, what a terrible, terrible thing to have happened to a young lady. And she was so very young. So, a good portion of this book, a little portion is, about his dad. A bigger portion is about him and his lifestyle and his shenanigans, the mischief that he gets himself into, and the famous people that he encounters, and the things that he actually does. And then a nice big chunk of it is in reference to his sister, which, I'm not mad about, because I think it was a very nice thing that he did. This was a part of his life, so he gave up a nice big chunk of his book to do something very hard and discuss the murder of his sister, which, he loved her. He loved her. And, he was, well, I won't say what happened, because if anybody didn't know like myself, I don't want to ruin that on you. But I'm going to tell you, I did, while that was going on, I did go online and reference this, because I might have heard the slightest little mention of it at one point or another, but I just think I was too juvenile at that point to, I was just doing my own thing. But so now that I'm older, I did care enough to go find out what these individuals looked like, and who they were, and why did this happen, and how did this happen. And Griffin tells us, what came of it, but I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on it, because I am a true crime buff, and it piques my interest. I don't know. She got dealt a bad hand, and that was pretty unfortunate. So, yeah. I'm not going to keep you too long, because I don't want that light and that annoying spinning fan going around. But I just wanted to pop on here really quick and give you a quick, less than par review, not because of the book, but because of the surroundings. My apologies, on this book. So if you are into this type of book, memoirs or Hollywood information, from, especially back in yesteryear, because let's face it, his father was pretty famous himself, it's family tales, the story of a sordid life, or a sordid life, sordid, sordid. But anyways, whatever you are reading, I hope you are having a ball. Know that I love you. Be well, be good, and be reading.